I'm just going to say a few words on behalf of John and Mary. We're here to celebrate John and Mary's wedding. And on their behalf, I would like to thank you all for coming, and also to remember those who sadly are no longer with us: Mary's parents, my own mother Stella, John's godmother Betty, who died in the last month, a lady who was particularly kind, and every year she bought John a new pair of pajamas. And I'd just like to raise a toast to the couple. If you'd like to stand up and toast them. Or roast them, maybe. When you're all standing, a toast to the lovely bridesmaids. And Father Pat, we can not forget him for next to and Ruth Matthews for making the cake. There's a little bear on the front of it. And I'll just give you a short history of John Anthony Hearne. Now, I don't know where the Anthony came from. It might be after Tony Flynn, I don't know. But John anyway was born in the terrible winter of 1963, that was a long time ago, in Dublin, to Stella. And Frank here, he's still at the end of the table, he's still with us. He was a young guy at that time. And for anyone that knows the Regina, I think it's the Regina, that's where my mother worked anyway, when she lived in Waterford. Just like to put him into perspective now, he's the second child of 6. And maybe I'm wrong, but the second child in the family, they all seem to feel hard done by for some reason. I don't know. Maybe all the love was wasted on the eldest, I don't know. He was a nervous child, John. Hard to believe now, but he had a great imagination, which he still has. He claimed that he was dropped on his head when he was a baby. And this might explain a lot looking back. He once told us too that Dad brought him into the garden, put his arm around him and told him he was adopted. This is not true. It's an exaggerated claim, you know. And he also claimed that he heard an argument one time downstairs, and my dad shouting at my mum, "I told you I'd live, he'd live, didn't I?" Which is not true either, because they loved him. As I said, all these were the result of a big-headed kid with a big imagination. And as I said, he was nervous as a child, and he was afraid of all the usual things, ghosts mainly. Monsters under the bed and that type of thing, hiding in wardrobes waiting to get him. And caravans, particularly afraid of caravan. Buying drink, particularly afraid of spending money, there's a lot of issues. When he was growing up, he was pretty active. He joined gymnastics, which he left. It's hard to believe now or not. He went on to athletics, which he left. Judo, which he left. There's something else he left, but I can't remember again. he was popular as a boy. He made a lot of friends. Some of them are still here today. Tony, Johnny, and Mick Beattie. And in actual fact, I was looking at the back of the booklet here, the booklet. And it said, today I'm marrying my best friend, the one I've laughed with and cried with, the one I've learned from and shared with, the one I've chosen to support, encourage and give myself to, through all the days given to share together. Today I married the one I loved, and I didn't know whether it was Mick, Johnny or Tony. He attended Trinity Castle, which is a famous, well, not so famous really, school in Dublin. And it's safe to say his academic achievements are all matched to this day. And moving on then, he worked as a panel beater, which he left. A security officer, which he left. Fisherman left, builder left, milkman left. And he ended up working in the AIPP, you might know more, but here's the meat factory. Where they called him Johnny Ten Fingers. Says a lot about the health and safety of the factory there. Which he left. Well, he was sacked, to be honest with you. He got a claim, he didn't get a claim. He then went to Australia before it was fashionable. And I'm trying to remember too, but when he did leave, he left Australia. But before he left, he managed to steal 3 boats, I think, fishing. That's true, isn't it? Yeah, that's true. But as a young man, he was very reluctant to hand up his fair share at home. So occasionally when he used to get a suit cleaned, my mother would sponge it, put a bit of plastic over it, and charge him the fee for the dry cleaning. And that's really true. And my father used to get money off him, used to overcharge him for his insurance. A couple of £100. He was a lane driver on the car or something. But I'll just finish up. I just like to say, we grew up in a great family, and we're all very proud of him, and Mary. And we're delighted to have Mary as John's partner, John's wife. I hope he doesn't leave him. I think they're a great couple and hope to have a long and happy marriage. Rather small, but here's I don't know there, but every Christmas John comes to Dublin for Stephen's Day, and himself and Tony, the exchange. It's just a bit of fun, completely useless present, you know, it might be a hat with a middle cut over or something of a German novel, but something like that. But I feel now today, not only Mary got married, she's got an early Christmas present because John is completely useless around the house. That's about it. I'll just hand over to my father, say a word or two.
Got the easiest job to do, like. And first of all, I want to welcome Mary into the family. She doesn't know who she's getting moved on with yet. John was always, he was always a bit of a nuisance. He's ungrateful. I bought himself from trying two bicycles one time, and they were a bit rusty, all right. But he said to Tony Dog one day, he said, anytime we're going for a spin on these bikes, he says, we have to get a tetanus injection. He made some bit of arrhythmias there, but I was still with him, and I hope to be with him for a long more time, like, because as all they was interested in is the divide. They want to get their inheritance money. But the bike can run away with me, like, I might leave the whole lot to the dog's home. Very much.
Dotty's gone.
You found it. It wasn't sacked from AIB people. I knew the negotiations weren't going well when the manager had me in a headlock. And they carried me to the gate and they threw me out over the line. It wasn't a claim, it was a fair settlement that I got, and I got the innocent dollars in.
He never stops talking.
And the second time I was sacked was on a nightclub in Water because we wouldn't sell drugs with the bouncers. And I got a fair claim there, and we got the indoor heating into the house. So I'd like to kill the accusation that I left every time I was in, there was someone I was thrown out. Some people I'd like to thank very much for coming here. My father, obviously, and we were hoping he wouldn't croak it before the event. We're watching house prices in Dublin, we're not too worried about that, the event.
Not too worried about what?
Kathleen, who I love dearly.
Aww.
But, I'll go back to the very start because I just had to answer those accusations. Firstly, I'd like to thank Father Pat. He's as decent and good as he sounded today in the office. I can honestly say he's not liked in the parish he's loved, and he makes my job very handy. I take a lot of the credit for the great work he does, which is very important in my day. I'd like to thank the bridesmaids for being as beautiful as they were, but more importantly, for being great friends to Mary's, long and late friends, and that's very important. I'd like to thank PJ for giving Mary away. I just wonder, is there a warranty with it? I just wonder, I don't know if the deal is completely done yet, I don't. PJ doesn't drink, so I'm afraid he might not do a warranty. I'd like to thank Flash McVie. He was the last I was seeing on Kesh. He's a very dear friend of mine. He's tried to get me into as much trouble as he could over the years. Thankfully I didn't get into it. And he's the leader of our team in Belfast, in Belfast City Hall. He's a very good friend of mine. And I'd like to just to remember Siobhan Whelan's, her father passed away too, and her sister-in-law. And also a very dear friend of mine, John Power, who was a great neighbour. And I'd like to thank my neighbours, the Powers, as well, because they were always great neighbours. And we deeply remember those three people. My mother was very fearful when I joined the Republican movement. She said I'd end up in chains looking through bars. And as you see, we did end up in chains looking at bars. So the mother was always proved right. No doubt about that. Secondly, I'd like to thank one of our leading members here, David Cullinan. It's a very historic occasion. It's the first time I shared a room with him that he didn't speak on the microphone. He's been a great friend of mine over the years, and I remember a very funny incident one time when working in the office. A young lad came in and he saw a picture of himself and Jerry Adams. And he pointed at Jerry Adams and he said to me, who's your man with Harry Potter? How That's how he got the name Harry Potter.
Sure, yeah.
But I know he's feeling very envious of me talking in the microphone, because I know one time when we lost him in a forest, we tried everywhere, we couldn't find him. So we put the microphone down and he crawled up to it eventually. So just to say, we're very proud of him. He's a very good TD in our area, and we'd like taking half the money out of him every week to run the office. Secondly, when I was a young child, and I've been misrepresented by both my parents and the rest of my family here about being ungrateful, I felt a little bit neglected. When at the age of 12, they used to write on a cardboard box, Waterford, and drop me off the Long Mile Road, and they didn't care how I got there. No clothes, no money, nothing. You should have been ashamed of yourself. The rusty bike story is true. I did have to get a tetanus injection every time I went for a cycle. But I'd also like to thank Garda Síochána for taking himself and Geraldine on. Geraldine's my sister's over there. She's the mother of the two twins. Because the both of them were absolutely useless. My father worked on the council, they wouldn't have him. He didn't leave, they got rid of him. Geraldine was the same in the hospital, didn't like her, got rid of her. Geraldine worked in security one time. She was in the St. Stephen's Green Centre, and a fella came in with a helmet on the head and said, "Where's the wages office?" And she said, "In there," and he didn't rob the place. So, they wouldn't have her either, so they got rid of her. And the guards took her on, so... I started a campaign, as I'm very good at campaigning, to actually have a holiday. A fella sitting beside me in the class brought in a brochure every week, and he said, "I'm going to Benidorm." So I went to my dad, "Matt, any chance of a holiday this year?" He said, "Right, we'll take it." He said, "We'll bring you to Brownstown." I said, "Is that near Benidorm?" Right. To my shock, we were all loaded in the car, the sick dog, the six of us, and about 3 trunks of clothes. When we arrived in Waterford, a serving guard put a pole through a caravan, no tow hitch, towed it out to Brownstown, put all the kids in the back, told us to run to the back when the caravan was catching up with the car. So it wouldn't be a calamity. He towed it to the end of a lane in Brownstown, a desolate, bleak place in the end of nowhere. No home in sight, and left us there and went back to Luna. No heating, no light, no running water. It wasn't anywhere near Benidorm, I can tell you. To survive, if we didn't catch it and kill it, or eat it, or fish for it, we didn't eat. I think, Frank, it's about time you apologised to Murtagh. He was on holidays with us 1 year. Not on holidays on a survival course we were on. Murtagh was sitting at the table crying. There was only one egg left. He had it on his fork, and that's all he had to eat for the day. And he was hoping things would pick up. Frank, being as lousy as he was, got 2 slices of bread, grabbed the egg and ran down the lane and left. Surely this is a crime. So when you hear the children being abandoned, Serving Guard abandoned the whole family of us for 3 months every year at the end of a lane in Brownstown for about 20 years. I said things will have to look up. So eventually, Kathleen knew the hardship I was going through. She said I could come and stay with her, so I went to live with Kathleen, one of the biggest days of my life. Having 9 kids, there was no beds, they were all full up. So I got an upgrade. And I always thought when I thought of a motoring holiday, I didn't know I was sleeping in the car. All the girls were sleeping in the caravan, and myself and Frank were sleeping in the car. I still have a handbrake mark in the back of my neck from all I was here. So I got an upgrade to behind the sofa in Kathleen's house. Pat was on the sofa, someone else was on the other sofa. There was 4 fellas in the box room in the beds. 3 girls in the other room, so I got an upgrade in behind the sofa, which was a great elevation from sleeping with a handbrake in the car. So thank you, and that's why I love you dearly, Kathleen. Now I come to Mary, Pat.
No.
soup one night in the park in. I was having a conversation with him. He said, if I was you, I'd get yourself a Mary. Frank is married to a Mary. Got the taxi into town, went into Muldoon's. I was completely Muldoon. Said to the barman, have you any Marys in here? He said, there's one in the corner. Go over and have a look at her. I went over to see her. I said, how are you keeping? Is your name Mary? He said, yeah. I said, that's the job done. You're right. We're all I was absolutely shocked after 11 years of living with her when we went to get the baptismal cert that her name isn't Mary at all. What have you been doing? I have a claim in against Muldoon's. I'm going to pursue it. I got a Rosario, not a Mary. There's surely some breach of this code of practice there. So I'd like to say just, it's an absolute honour and a privilege to be elected in the town. Thanks very much.
Very good.
Just, we all know, and we have a lot of people here from Kilkenny, so I'm very, very concerned about what I say, especially after the recent boundary grab that we had. So, we didn't get the land we wanted, but we're going to do what Tommy Hearne did. We're going to marry them. We're going to take it over by stealth. But at the meeting at the City Council last week, there was a motion passed. It wouldn't be right to have a Kilkenny woman marry a waterman of my stature as mayor. So they passed it in 33 the now. It's famous for flying the tricolour for the first time. So the council passed a motion to issue the first water passport to Mary Pat. So the first official water passport issued to Mary Pat Fitzpatrick by the Metropolitan Mayor of Waterford, Councillor John Hearne.
Otherwise known as
On this occasion of official passage into Waterford on May the 26th, 2017, up to date. Every person's dream to have a job in water, but to marry the mayor and get citizenship must be just unbelievable.
I think we said a lot there, and that's about it. Thanks very much. Thank you.